What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're talking about 7 very particular tobacco based fragrances that we haven't featured in the last tobacco video because these kind of deserve their own tier. These are exclusive and I believe superior in many ways to a lot of the other fragrances that are out there that feature a prominent tobacco note. Some of these are modern classics for the genre. Some of these you may not have heard of. These are all luxury, high quality fragrances and definitely worth testing and getting your nose on. So let's discuss them. Stay tuned. Been around for quite a while, does not get any love. Hell, I don't give it enough love. I talk about Boundless a bit more. Royal Tobacco gets a lot of love, their newest one, but Amouage Journeyman deserves some respect thrown on the name. That is Journeyman. This is a dry, smoky, quick hit, spicy aromatic. You get Sichuan pepper that hits you hard, hits you fast, and then fleets away quickly. Juniper aromatic. It's a dry, earthy vetiver tobacco smoky type of fragrance that has this uber masculinity to it. It's very assertive, classy, old school-esque type of feel without smelling like a fougere, but definitely has that all-world feel to it. Crazy performance. Man, this is just one that doesn't get the type of attention it truly deserves. I think it's rather special. It's one that I like to save for dressier occasions. Obviously not current attire that you see on screen, but it's definitely worth checking out. It's not the mass-appealing, sweet type of tobacco that you'll find in a lot of other fragrances, like most notably I mentioned Boundless. That's much more mass-appealing and easygoing than something like this, while still having Amouage's signature DNA with the orientals and the resins and such. All of that's here, but this is much more dry and in your face and a bit more over the top, and pungent's not the right word. I think assertive is the good word for this one. So definitely worth checking out if you want a different tobacco experience. Check out Journeyman from Amouage. Definitely special for date nights, I have to say. Based around this cedarwood, coconut, rum, tobacco combination that, honestly, the coconut here gives almost this sweet, crystallized type of nuance. I even get like a little bit of a marshmallowy sweetness from Nishane's Fan Your Flames. Very, very special fragrance. It's not super boozy. It's not over-the-top sweet, but it does have a nice earthy tone with some woody nuances. You have oak moss, tobacco, and cedar wood that play a nice combination role together in creating this earthy, woodsy base that's not too dry, because you have other notes that kind of sweeten and moisten up this fragrance, such as the coconut and the rum. Which the rum is on the sweeter side. It does have a warm, boozy feel to it, but this is some special stuff. This is intoxicating, very attractive and alluring, and doesn't smell like really anything else. I can't think of anything that smells like Fan Your Flames other than maybe Fan Your Flames X, its flanker, which I think this is better, honestly. I think the original is superior too, and it's definitely worth experiencing because there's a real good probability you're going to end up wanting a 50 ml like I have here. Again, that's Nishane's Fan Your Flames. Spicy, earthy, smoky, and woodsy. This is a lot of people's favorite niche level tobacco fragrance. For good reason, too. It's Parfums de Marly Herod. I finally got around to getting a bottle recently. I used to have an 8 ml decant. For those of you that have seen my review from a few years ago, at the end of that video, I dropped my decant on the concrete. We were walking around the neighborhood with a selfie stick, kind of doing a, just walking around outdoors type of review. That was a thing I was experimenting with a few years back. And man, there's good reason for this being a lot of people's favorite tobacco. Spicy, not over the top sweet, smoky and earthy. This is extremely enjoyable. I don't find it to be much of a challenge here, but I also don't find it to be the most mass appealing out there. This one offers a little bit more of a level of interest over something that's just over the top, crowd pleasing, easygoing type of tobaccos. There's so many of those out there. And then there's the other side of the coin where there's so many that are just super earthy, dark, and smoky with heavy leathers or ouds that offer more of a challenge, but this kind of falls in between, where I think it scratches the itch for those that are more enthusiast level and looking for a different experience that's not run-of-the-mill, but those that want some familiarity that has an ease of approachability to where it doesn't seem like a very challenging fragrance. I think pretty much everybody can enjoy this one, and it's a really good performer. and it's Parfums de Marly Herod. Citrus, spicy, a bit on the synthetic side because it's got a nice hefty dose of Isui Super, but a very prominent tobacco. The tobacco is much more prominent in this flanker than its Verano flanker. We're talking about Ormonde, Jayne, Montabaco, Intensivo. So super redundant to Montabaco Verano. Verano is more based around the citruses and the woods, whereas this I get more of a smoky nuance with a lot of the tobacco accord that they feature here. This is much more tobacco forward than the Verano flanker, where that has that blue gradient bottle. That's more of an everyday wear, where I find this one to be better in the cooler, milder months, and even moving into the evening, more appropriate evening attire type of fragrance wardrobe. This is a beautiful fragrance. Now, you do have to not have that sensitivity to Isui Super because heavy synthetics can be a bit much and trigger some people's sinuses. So it's something that you really should test before just outright buying a bottle and spending a couple $100s on it. But it is a beautiful, masculine, woody tobacco fragrance with nice spicy notes like cardamom. You have citruses, you have an airy freshness at the top, but there's still this dense, earthy tone that you get from start to finish that just intensifies, no pun intended, as it dries down more and more. Great performer as well. It's Ormonde, Jayne, Montabaco, Intensivo. One of the most balanced tobacco fragrances I've ever come across because some are sweeter tobaccos, some are more woodsy, some are spicy, some are boozy, some are more earthy, some are more aromatic, whereas Zaharoff Signature Tabac offers all of these nuances pretty well balanced across the board. You can see this is one I reach for rather often. This is a great daily wear signature, as the name would indicate, type of tobacco fragrance that even in the high heat summer months, I think if you go easy on the sprays, you can wear this one outdoors in the summer. It does have some strength to it though. This is more of an herbal, leafy, aromatic type of tobacco with a little bit of spice, a little bit of a dry, woody nuance. You get some smokiness, you get some booze, because there's cognac and rum here. There's vanilla. You have all these different elements that make for a sweet tobacco, boozy tobacco, with all the different types of tobacco fragrances I mentioned earlier are all present here. High quality stuff. Again, pretty good strength, at least on my skin. I get around 8 hours of longevity. It's one that I do about 5 to 6 sprays, and that's more than strong enough to be pronounced. It's one that if you dial up the sprays, it'll be too much. I think that moderate spray range of 5 to 7 is kind of the sweet spot for me personally. I've seen people say 3 is plenty for them. It all depends on your olfactive perception and your skin chemistry with this one, but a lot of strength in the 5 to 6 spray range I think is kind of my go-to for this one. Definitely worth getting a sample of this one. Very well balanced is Zaharoff Signature Tabac. How about a fruity, dark, and smoky tobacco, like a cherry pipe tobacco with raspberry, maple syrup, frankincense, and a hefty dose of it. We're talking about the Gate Fragrances Memories. This is superb. You hear me? Superb. Better for the cold weather. I would not really advise this on those warm fall days. Might be a little too much because it's just as earthy and smoky as it is sweet and syrupy and fruity. Because the sweetness here, it's maple syrup, black cherry, and I believe like a dark raspberry note or a blackberry note, something. I think it's raspberry. But very fruity. The cherry is the most dominant of the bunch, and it's a syrupy type of cherry note because a heavy maple syrup accord follows suit with that cherry. And then it's an earthy, dry leaf tobacco smell. That's why I relate it to like a cherry pipe tobacco with a lot of incense. It has that hefty, smoky accord here. This is so guilty pleasure, sweet and enjoyable, while still being just a dominant, unique tobacco. I say cherry pipe tobacco, and it doesn't sound all that unique, but when you smell it, it's like, I haven't smelled another tobacco like this one. At least that's the case for me. Absolutely sample worthy. Some of their best work from this house, and it's ridiculous performance for sure. Again, that's the Gate Fragrances Memories. One that I feature often when it comes to tobaccos because it is my favorite tobacco fragrance. They do have an extrait version now. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to spend the extra on the extrait because the EDP is a monster already, and it's less expensive. But Argos Triumph of Bacchus is a must-try for anyone that loves boozy, fruity tobaccos. Prominent apple and peach. You get a nice rum accord. Very rich and ambery. It's a little on the warm and spicy side. The tobacco's not over the top earthy, but everything about this smells of purity, quality, and luxury. And I mean, down to the level of the bottle's presentation with the quality in which you get. This is an older style bottle because the caps are full metal with a click into place collar these days. They have a glass stopper in the atomizer with a micro atomizer, whereas this was, man, this is their older style atomizer. You can't smell this and not get stopped in your tracks. I'm sorry. It just won't happen. It's too good, honestly. It's too good. It's hands down my favorite tobacco. It has been for several years now. Only wear it in certain situations. I don't spray it a ton. Once I deem something special, I treat it special. I wear it for special things. That's what this is for me. Definitely encourage you getting one of those sample packs and checking this one out. This is the best of the house, in my opinion. There's a lot of great offerings from Argos, but if you're looking for, in my opinion, one of the best tobacco fragrances known to man, you're going to need to get your nose on Argos' Triumph of Bacchus. Well, that's the 7 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What are some of those tobacco fragrances that you're looking to wear for special occasions that are not necessarily under the radar, but just special? They have that little something extra that you really get excited to wear those fragrances. And let me know if there's something you haven't tried that's in this video that you'd like to try. I'll try to have links down below for everything if you're interested. Until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 7 and you give them a spray now, really good chance you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.